Hey everyone, I am sorry that we cannot be together today in class, but I'm glad that we're all safe at home and taking care of ourselves and our family. So this week you are going to be doing some e-learning. Technically starts tomorrow, but I want to go ahead and get started on Monday so we can stay on track with our weekly practice. You should have received your Q4 Week 1 weekly practice on Friday. If you were not here, there is a blank attached copy, and you will just need to write your answers on a piece of paper. But we're going to start with Monday today, and then we're going to work through Tuesday on Tuesday, Wednesday on Wednesday, and so on for the rest of the week. And then on Friday, you're going to take a picture of your work and send it to me. So you don't have to send me a photo every day of your work. But you're not only just going to have this will be your warm-up, but you'll also have a lesson each day. We're going to be working on ratios, continuing to look at graphs, tables, and equations as well. Let's start by taking a look at Monday's number one question. So the question says, you can buy a 40-ounce, of course there's a typo, ounce, OZ, jar of peanut butter for $5.25, or you can buy a 15-ounce jar for $2.10. Which is the better buy? So we've learned over the last 2 weeks that better buy means we are looking for a unit rate. I can hear all of you saying that. So that means we have to figure out what is the cost for 1 ounce. So we know, let's go ahead and do our setup. We have $5.25 for a 40-ounce. And then over here we have $2.10 for a 15-ounce. So I know we can use the calculator, but we're going to go ahead and work this one out. I think it'll be a pretty easy one to work out. So $5.25, we know that 40 cannot go into 5 alone, so we're going to put our 0, and then we're going to we're just going to go to 52, bring your decimal up. So 40 will go into 52 one time, and then we're going to subtract 40. It's going to leave us with 12, and we're going to bring down that 5, and then 40 will go into 125 3 times, because I know 4 times 3 is 12, so 40 times 3 is 120. And so we have 5 left over. Remember, we cannot write this as a fraction. We need to add a 0 and keep dividing, and 40 will go into 50 one time. And I'm actually going to stop there because we are looking at money, and so money only has 2 place values after the decimal, so we know that it is going to tell us that if we look at the 1, will tell us what to do with the 3, and a 1 rounds down, so we will say, or stays the same, I should say, not really rounds down. It stays at 13 cents instead of rounding to 14 cents. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with the 15 ounces. So it is $2.10. We know 15 cannot go into 2. Bring your decimal up. 15 goes into 21 one time. 21 minus 15 gives us 6. We're going to bring our 0 down, and then 15 will go into 60 exactly 4 times. So this one doesn't continue like the other one. It actually stops, and it is exactly. Notice I used squiggly lines here, and then on this one I'm using the equal sign, because this means that this is an exact amount. So this one was 14 cents. So we can say that the $5.25, the 40 ounce, was the better buy. Okay, on to question 2. Round the number below to the nearest thousandths place. So let's stop and take a second, and let's talk about the place values in decimals. So if we're looking at this place value chart, we see that here's our decimal point. To the left of the decimal is the ones place, so we know that the 5 is in the ones place, and then we have our decimal point, and then the next number is the tenths, so this is a 6/10, and then the hundredths, the 7 is in the hundredths place, and the thousandths would have to be the 3. So the 3 is going to be the thousandths place, and if it says to round to the nearest thousandths, That means we look at the number behind it to tell us what to do. So the number is a 5, and we talked about the rounding hill at the beginning of the year, that 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are going to keep rounded down, where numbers 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are going to round it to the next highest number. So a 5 is going to tell us to round this up. So our new answer is going to be 5 and 674 thousandths, because the 5 is telling the 3 to round up. So number 3 is to find the sum, and as we know, the word sum means to add. So when we start looking at adding decimals, we should never just solve them horizontally. We should rewrite them vertically and line up the decimals. So I'm actually just going to move the 2 and 9/10. So I'm going to move them to 2 plus, or adding the 2 and 9/10. So, and then I'm going to put zeros for placeholders. 5 plus 0 is 5. 4 plus 0 is 4. 1 plus 9 is going to give me 10, but we don't write a 10. You can only have one number per placeholder. And then you carry this 1. And then 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 2 gives us 6. So our final answer for number 3 is 6 and 45 thousandths, because it's 3 numbers behind the decimal. Okay, we are on our final question. Number 4, use the equation to complete the table below. So we have y equals 2 and 5/10 x. So we've learned throughout this year that when we have a number and a variable right beside each other, that means to multiply. So we are given our x's, they are on the top, and we are going to plug in to solve. So this first one, we have 0, so we think of this as 2 and 5/10 times 0. And we know anything times 0 is 0. So the next one would be 2 and 5/10 times 1, which we know is 2 and 5/10. So the next one would be 2 and 5/10 times 2, and if we multiply that, we get 10. 2 times 2 is 4, plus the 1 is 5, and then you have 1 decimal place, so it's 5. And you might notice, since these are going up by 1, some of you might think, well, if it's just adding 1 on the x, that means it's going to add 2 and 5/10, but let's double check. So this next one would be 2 and 5/10 times 3. So 3 times 5 is 15, carry your 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus the 1 is 7. You have one number behind the decimal, just that 5. So it is 7 and 5/10. And number 4 would be 2 and 5/10 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20. Bring the 0 down, carry the 2. 4 times 2 is 8, plus the 2 is 10. Still, the 5 is the only number behind the decimal, so this answer is 10. Okay, that is all for your weekly practice. This is the only thing you have to do today for Monday. If you didn't watch this on Monday, then you have Monday and Tuesdays to do. So be on the lookout on Tuesday for the lesson that we will be going over. And if you have any questions or not sure exactly what to do, just email me. I will either create a video and email it back to you, or I will take a snapshot of an example of that that you're asking about. Just remember the office hours. Right now I have it set for 2:30 to 4. I think I'm going to move it to 2 to 3:30, but I'll be on my computer on and off throughout the day, so I should be able to get to it pretty quickly. So hopefully I will see you soon. I guess not for 2 weeks, but please stay safe and stay healthy and stay on top of your schoolwork. Bye.